What's up, guys? It's Casey Zilkelman, aka the fourth Sanderson sister, and I may have discovered a dark secret that could ruin your perspective of a certain character. I blame the first draft of this script for this. I do. I blame it so hard, because after reviewing it, which you can watch by clicking on this thing right here, it's now making me think of things that I don't want to think about. But I'm thinking about them. And if I have to suffer, so do all of you. I'm talking, of course, about our wholesome, adorable, cinnamon roll, hilarious Billy Butcherson. And it's all because of the first draft script and this one line that made the final cut.
Very well. We must outwit them. When Billy the Butcher gets here with my book, we should be ready for them.
So, to all of you, this was probably just a throwaway line. But after going in depth on that first draft, it has me questioning everything. Everything. Binks even says,
So she poisoned him and sewed his mouth shut with a dull needle, so he couldn't tell his secrets even in death.
secrets. Plural. More than one secret. What all did Billy know? For how long? And why did Winifred still refer to him as Billy the Butcher in that clip? I have a very dark, very upsetting theory for you guys today. And I assure you, you're not ready for this. Now, if you are a little squeamish about the business the Sanderson sisters are in,
Ladies and gentlemen, may I suggest that those of you with weak constitutions leave the arena.
and I'm being serious about this, this is a very mature, pretty scary, unpleasant topic I'm going to be talking about today. It is a mature-themed video, so please take that into account before you go any further. If you're into horror and such like that, buckle up, because this is going to get interesting. So Billy's name is William Butcherson. Now, it could be that Winnie called him Billy the Butcher because of his last name. Could be because his family business was raising livestock to butcher and sell to people. Or they help people with their cuts of meat. Butcherson could be broken down into two different words, and it comes out Billy the Butcher's son. That kind of makes sense, except his last name isn't a nickname, it's actually his surname. His whole family shares that name, so that doesn't work unless they chose to be butchers to pull off an incredibly remarkable joke, which is possible and commendable for the remarkable irony. She could call him Billy the Butcher because he butchered their relationship by cheating on her with Sarah, at least in her head. That could make sense if it wasn't pretty friggin' clear that she killed him as soon as she found out about the affair. I feel like this nickname goes further back, so I'm gonna say that's not it either. Well, this is gonna have a lot of speculation, but because I don't have any clear-cut details to work with about how entwined he was with Sarah specifically, I'm going to fill in the plot hole gaps as well as I can. Billy is referred to as Billy the Butcher because he helped the Sanderson sisters clean up their victims.
Whoa, Daddy.
And now that several of you have run away screaming in terror from this video, let's get into the gory details of it all. Billy has been more or less proven to actually have been in some kind of relationship with Sarah before his death. We don't exactly know the time frame, but I did my best to break that down in a previous video I did about Billy's legend, which you can watch by clicking on this thing right here. They are very amicable with each other. He knew that she and her sisters were witches. And this is the sticking point. It took forever for them to finally get caught, which I never understood until today. They had some outside help in keeping everything hush-hush. And that outside help was Billy. I'm not saying he was completely aware of what he was doing, but he was most definitely involved. How do I know this? Because the Sanderson sisters were not caught until he died.
What?
Here's what I'm picturing. After the whole debacle with Winifred's banishment, Billy hasn't seen them for a very, very long time. He's grown up, he's now the local butcher in his family business, and he takes special orders for people who catch their own wild game. Yes, I'm keeping the butcher thing. It just makes sense. He'll happily cut it up, wrap it up, and give it back for a price. One day he is out in the village and spies a red-haired woman with rather large front teeth. He knows her immediately, but no one else seems to at the moment. In order to bury the past, Billy approaches her and makes amends with Winifred, who is delighted to see him. They talk, make amends, and she asks what he's doing now. When he tells her he's taken over the family business, her eyes light up. She explains that she and her sisters acquire livestock from time to time, but they are not great at butchering the meat and cleaning up the carcasses. He offers to help out if they bring it to him, but Winifred reminds him she isn't even supposed to be in the village. She was only there because she had no choice on this particular outing. He asks if someone else could bring the meat to him, and she suggests that her youngest sister might be the best choice because she could blend in best out of the three of them. So on occasion, Sarah visits Billy with a parcel of mangled meat that he helps break down into ribs, steaks, roasts, etc. The animals are usually small, so it takes no time at all to do and very little money to do it. He disposes of the entrails and any unwanted bones by slopping them to the hogs, as was his practice, because they eat everything. Sarah usually stays and talks to him while he works. He enjoys the company. As time goes on with more visits, the two become close enough for Sarah to invite him to dinner at their home one evening, which he graciously accepts. If you don't know where I'm going with this, please do yourself a favor and catch up. He reunites with Mary and Winifred, no one holding a grudge against him for the past, and they dine together on the meat that he butchered for them. Billy is surprised by the taste and asks what sort of animal this actually came from, as they hadn't really said up to this point. Mary explains that they get a small lamb every now and then from a native tribe a ways off. They raise their livestock differently than the Puritan community. It's also why they bring him the carcasses already skinned. The natives need the animal skins and wool for clothing and bedding, which Billy completely understands. If they're making deals, they need to make deals. All the while, Winifred was enamored with Billy, believing his sympathy and help was due to their old spark. He must have missed her. Sarah, of course, knew he was mostly there for her, but she kept it quiet around Winifred. I'm not glossing over the fact that their house had plenty of witch paraphernalia around, nor am I ignoring the rumors about the Sandersons no doubt spread around in Salem. It does come out that they're witches, but they convince him that they mean no harm. They just had no other choice. Having gotten to know Sarah and her sisters better, Billy promises to keep quiet about his dealings with them, to keep them safe. This song and dance goes on for a long time, with him coming to supper many times to dine on the meat that they get, and have some fun socialization. He's rather acquired a taste for native lamb and mutton, and Winnie is always happy to have him over. Guys, I know thanks to Hocus Pocus 2, it's not canon, but take a listen to this anecdote from the Hocus Pocus reunion in 2020 and tell me I'm not on the right track.
Me father were a witch hunter, therefore emotionally unavailable. So I loved when he invited me to a home. Oh, it was rapture to supper there. The spells, curses, conjures. Sarah.
They would have had to have had him over a few times, right? It would come off as friends to him and lover to Winifred, since he shows her kindness to thank her for the hospitality, even though he's friend-zoning her. He and Sarah spend time together when she comes to have their meat butchered, with her sometimes getting home a little later from some hanky-panky in the back. Billy has absolutely no idea what's going on right under his nose. He is knowingly protecting three witches, but that's because he sees them as harmless and he's banging Sarah, whom he loves and does not want to lose. The only thing that could make him flip on them is if he figures out what he's been eating alongside them this entire time. And I mean, this goes on for several years. Literal years. Decades even, because he does not die until May 1st, 1693. So we've got a timeline of, I'd say, roughly 20 years to fill in here. Let's say after their banishment, well, more like 40 years. Let's say after their banishment in 1653, the Sanderson sisters don't come poking around Salem until Winifred is well into her 30s, so we'll add 20 to keep the math simple because I need that, and say Billy meets her again in 1673. This has given the sisters 20 years to hone their craft and locate other villages and towns from which to lure children to their demise, Sarah's words. Now, up to this point, they'd been getting rid of bodies and bones any way they know how, but it isn't clean enough to keep their tracks totally covered. Mostly they throw the leftovers in the basement to rot and decompose. Minus the bones, of course, because those take a long time to decompose. So they try to powder those up, use them in potions, or just hide them as well as you can. They don't get visitors. No one's ever going to go down to the cellar. It'll be fine. When Winnie finds out Billy Butcherson is in fact a butcher, she uses their history as lovers, in her mind, to pull him into their fold and have him dispose of the mess. They keep the meat, he gets rid of the refuse by slopping it with other scraps to the hogs, then it keeps them fat and prime for butchering. He and Sarah, meanwhile, have their long affair ending only when Winifred finds out, which brings us to the year of 1693. For the last year, the Salem witch trials have been in full swing, and many people from all over the colonies were being arrested, and 19 executions take place in Salem alone. Billy, of course, is worried about his girlfriend and her family, who have come to be his friends as well. He has done everything in his power to keep their names out of people's mouths, and as there were a lot of names to worry about, that wasn't hard. He protected them through the heat of the trials, but then things turned sour. Word gets back to him that a child from Salem has gone missing on May 1st, 1693. People are starting a search party for the child, and Billy joins in, but he breaks away to go warn the Sandersons that their names are being thrown around again. For good reason. He gets to the house, but no one is present, and then he hears the sound of crying. It's soft, it's quiet, and coming from inside the house. Billy opens the door and goes inside. No one's there. The crying gets louder. After some time searching, he finds the door to the cellar, and inside, the missing child. There is no way. It was impossible. Why was the child here? Maybe they were just hiding the kid here so they could keep them away from the kidnappers. Maybe the Sandersons were out getting rid of the vile criminals as he stood there. Welp. We all know that's not true. When he's confronted by the newly returned witches, he realizes this is not the case. He realizes everything as soon as Winifred asks him what he was doing in the cellar, and in the house in general, uninvited. The meat he'd been butchering, there was a reason the mutton tasted so different. It wasn't mutton. Oh my God. And the Sandersons were not harmless. He threatens to expose their heinous crime, all of their crimes, and Sarah begs him to keep quiet if he truly loves her as she does him. And at this little confession of their affair, the naive Winifred loses it. She accuses him of sporting with her own sister, says he knows far too much about their activities, and with her magic immobilizes him, pours poison down his throat, sews his mouth shut with a dull needle, so he cannot tell her secrets even in death. Billy Butcherson was called Billy the Butcher by Winifred specifically because he helped break down their already dismembered victims and dispose of the evidence. They were using the stories that they told him as a cover-up. It was all a lie. He was used. He was a pawn in their wicked game, even though they had true affection for him, and he them, most especially Sarah. Billy even knew of his nickname, but not the meaning behind Winifred's words. He would be unaware of his crimes until he finds a kid in their house, because their victims were coming from other settlements before the first kid from Salem goes missing. And the sick part is, he even indulged with them, enjoying it since he'd been to supper with them multiple times. He wasn't doing it on purpose, because Billy the Butcher was also a victim. So there's my incredibly dark theory on why Winifred calls Billy by Billy the Butcher that one time. Let's be honest with ourselves, it was probably just a slip-up that they thought no one would notice because his name was Billy Butcherson. And likely that is all it was. But I noticed. And if I have to live with the thought of Sweet Billy being involved, so do you.
If I'm going down, I'm taking everybody with me.
What do you guys think of this theory? Could Billy have been inadvertently cleaning up corpses, or was this just a line in need of reshooting? Let me know in the comments down below. And well, you do that while I go douse my brain with bleach so I forget this ever happened. As always, if you enjoyed the video, please remember to drop a like and subscribe if you haven't. It's free. It helps me. What helps me helps you guys get more great content like this, or in this case, incredibly dark content like this. I hope you, who have been wanting theories, are now satisfied and happy with yourself, because this one broke me. This one broke me in many pieces. Thursday night is the finale of 4th Plays Jedi Fallen Order over on my Twitch channel to talk about something else a little happier at our usual time, which is 7:30 p.m. Central Standard Time, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. I'm probably going to get my butt handed to me. We'll see what happens. There is currently a poll up in our Discord server for you all to vote on our next Twitch game, so make sure to go cast a vote for what I play next if you're part of our Discord, and if you're not part of our Discord, join the Discord. Link is in the channel description. Saturday night is actually the premiere of a brand new series, because we did the finale of Winifred Sanderson's Emerald Run, because we had a lot of time and we were there. Let's just do it. And we did it. And we won. And it was awesome. It was very impromptu. So we're skipping Gamer Winnie. We're going to be playing the alternate files for their randomizer Nuzlocke. So Saturday night we're starting Sarah Sanderson's alternate file for her Sapphire randomized Nuzlocke. So we'll see what could have been with this other one. I'm not doing recaps for this because we've already been through her story. We're just doing this again because it's May and it's not spooky season yet, and I've already run through my entire Pokemon inventory for the year, and I was like, why were these games so short? So we're gonna play the backup files that I had created for Sarah, Mary, and Winifred. So that'll be fun, and we're going to start at our usual time at 7:30 p.m. Central Standard Time, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time, right here on the channel. It's going to be pretty fun. I hope you guys join me for the premiere of our brand new Nuzlocke. If you're a regular on this channel, please remember to drop a like and share your thoughts on this nightmare theory down below. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm Casey Zogelman, aka the 4th Sanderson sister, and I need to go lay down after this one.